All right, guys. Day two, digital learning. Hopefully, yesterday went well. Again, you got any questions, any concerns, reach out, Canvas, Remind, email, whatever. I'll be available. Please don't hesitate to reach out with questions. So, today we're going to learn more about that third form of quadratics. We're going to call it intercept form, or you'll sometimes hear it called factored form. So, just to recap, we've learned three forms, two before this, and our third today. The first form we learned was standard form, which you'll see right here. And then we learned vertex form, right? And we've talked a lot about both of those. Factored form or intercept form, you'll hear me call it more often, is this third form, and you can see that right here. A times x minus p times x minus q, right? And intercept form, right from the name, it gives us the x-intercepts. And the reason it's sometimes called factored form is because you get this form by factoring a standard form equation. And we'll look at an example of that later. So let's talk about what's this a doing there? What's that p? What's that q? So a is a. It's the same a that we see in standard form and in vertex form. So if we converted between any of the three forms, that a value is always going to be the same thing, right? This p and this q, these are our x-intercepts, right? And you'll see those as p comma 0 and q comma 0 because we know intercepts are ordered pairs because they're points on a graph. So let's jump into some examples and let's start making sense of this. So this first example right here, y equals 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 2. Obviously, this is an intercept form, right? Now, let's make sense of what this is saying, right? And again, intercept form is very handy because it gives us the x-intercepts. So if you're looking at this graph right here to the right, this is the graph of this function. Now, if I were to ask you, what are the x-intercepts? You could just look straight off the graph. But if I didn't give you the graph, you can look straight at the equation and figure that out. The x-intercepts for this quadratic function written in intercept form are 1 comma 0 and negative 2 comma 0. And obviously, you guys can see negative 2 comma 0 right here, right? And 1 comma 0 here. So we see that from the graph. Where do we see that from the equation? Well, you see how it says minus 1 here? Well, we've got to change that sign when we write the x-intercept. Negative 1 here means the x-intercept is positive 1, 0. A plus 2 here means the x-intercept is negative 2, 0. We're going to change these signs. You guys are probably starting to see that's a little bit of a pattern with some of the things we've been learning with quadratics so far. A little bit later this week, we're going to look into why we change these signs to the opposite sign. Um, Being that we're doing digital learning, I'm trying to throw little pieces every day, not trying to overwhelm you guys with information. So for now, just remember minus 1 means a positive 1, 0 x-intercept. Plus 2 means a negative 2, 0 x-intercept. Let's try a couple of examples out on our own. So I've given you two quadratic functions in intercept form. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try these out on your own. All right, hopefully you paused the video. Let's find these answers and see if we start to catch on with what we're doing. So again, intercept form gives us the x-intercepts. So let's write the x-intercepts for this first equation right here. So plus 5 right here means an x-intercept of negative 5, 0. Let me rewrite that. Negative 5, 0. And a minus 2 here means an x-intercept of positive 2, 0. So let's try this next one out. Hopefully you got that right. If not, that's okay. Keep trying. So this minus 10 right here means an x-intercept of positive 10, 0. My zeros look like sixes, y'all. Positive 10, 0. And minus 7 here means, you guessed it, positive 7, 0. So again, we're remembering to change these signs. A minus becomes positive, positive becomes negative. Let's try out two more examples really quick. And yeah, so these next two examples, I've given you the function in standard form, and I want us to find the x-intercepts. And in standard form, finding the x-intercepts are going to be kind of difficult. But if we can factor this, aka put it in factored form, which we know is the same thing as intercept form, we can find the x-intercepts. So let's go ahead and factor this first function right here. So again, whenever we see a standard form quadratic where a equals 1, we remember that we can factor it into x in something times x in something. And to figure out these two numbers, if y'all remember, we used to draw our little factor x, right? But the more practice we get with this, we can just think about what numbers multiply to 15 and add to negative 8. So think about the two numbers that multiply to 15 and add to negative 8. And you should get negative 3 and negative 5, right? Negative 3 times negative 5, positive 15. Negative 3 plus negative 5, negative 8, right? So now that we have converted this to intercept form, we can find the x-intercepts, right? A minus 3 here means a positive 3, 0. Positive 3, 0. And a minus 5 here, you're probably starting to catch on, positive 5, 0. So do you see how when we change it from standard form to intercept form, it's really, really easy to find our x-intercepts. Pause the video, try out the next problem. All right, hopefully you tried that one out on your own. If we're gonna factor this, right, we gotta factor it to put it into intercept, AKA factored form. Again, standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is 1. So I know it's going to factor into x times something times x and something. I just got to figure out what these numbers are. Again, what are the two numbers that multiply to negative 14 and add to positive 5? Well, hopefully you got a plus 7 and a minus 2, because 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. 7 plus negative 2 is 5, right? So when we convert that from standard to intercept form, we can easily see the x-intercepts now. Positive 7 means a minus 7, 0. And a negative 2 means a positive 2, 0. So hopefully you're kind of seeing the basic gist of intercept or factored form. Again, message me on Canvas, email me, remind message if you're having any issues, any trouble at all. And go ahead and after this, just like on Monday, go to Canvas, do a short little practice quiz under this module. And again, just like on Monday, low pressure, graded for effort, not accuracy. Just a chance for you to try it out and practice it on your own. Again, reach out if you got any questions. Y'all have a good day.